Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate, and it does it with Colorado's real estate authority, Barb Schlinker. Barb Schlinker is a retired Navy veteran. Barb is an author. Barb Schlinker is a pilot. And Barb and her team enjoy all that Colorado and the Front Range have to offer. Barb, always great to be talking with you. Now, we air your real estate voice every Saturday. If you can't listen to the entire show, always available on Barb's site, barbhasthebuyers.com, or search Barb and you'll find her on most popular podcast platforms, iHeartRadio, etc. Barb, what do we have in store for today's show?
Well, hello, Richard. I'm always excited about talking about these different topics because I think it helps people. I hope it does. And the first one we're going to talk about is how to sell a house for the most money when you're selling a home in 2025. And I think you'll be surprised at some of the things that I say. A lot of people assume, oh, don't we go up in price for negotiating room? And that is a huge mistake because all the information is available online. The buyers are very savvy about what's available in their price range. So you have to nail that price right. It is part of your first showing along with the online presentation. So we're going to talk about that. And then the next topic we're going to cover are the top reasons why a Colorado house is not selling and what you can do to fix it. You'll be surprised. Sometimes it's very little corrections that can make a difference. The third item, which is kind of near and dear to my heart, it gives me entertainment every week, are when we see contract issues come up, in particular about inspection negotiations. It's kind of an interesting buyer agent against seller's agent scenario. And many times the buyer's agents are trying to get stuff for their buyer to kind of prove their value. At least that's how it comes across. Sometimes I've had the agents tell me, oh, Barb, I know that the buyer really didn't want this, but we had to ask for something. So, and really, when you ask for something in a state contract, you're basically saying, if I don't get this, I'm walking away. So it's an interesting scenario. We're going to talk about all the different things that home sellers can do to prepare themselves so they don't have to worry about deals falling apart over inspection. And then the very last topic we have covered before, but there's been something in the news lately about credit reporting. So we're going to talk about how to fix your credit before you buy a house. And as always, I love talking about my hot new listings. Richard?
So, Barb, in this market, there are many more homes that are not selling right now. What are the five keys to get the most money for a home when you are selling it?
Well, Richard, fortunately, the Colorado Front Range market is doing fairly well. We're kind of teetering between a seller's market and a buyer's market right now. It hasn't really changed much in the last few months. And part of the reason is interest rates. The interest rates have been relatively stable, probably for the last 2 months. We were after the election, we went up to the mid sevens. Now we've dropped down to about 6.75% for conventional, 6.25% for FHA and VA. And it's been steady as we go now for several months at that level. But the good news is right now, as we go into the spring season, we do see a lot more buyers enter the market. We see more homes go on the market and we see buyers go on the market. But surprising to me, we're seeing less inventory at this time of year than we normally see. So that could mean that if you're a buyer right now, you can't wait around. If you find the house is right for you, I would make sure you get your finances in order and go ahead and make that offer because we could see lower inventory going into the spring and summer this year. As far as what's going on in some of the counties along the Front Range, right now the median listing price is heading back up along all areas. So El Paso County, when we started the year, we were at about 520. Right now we're about 555. Same thing with Douglas County. I think it was about 820. It's now 895. And even Teller County went from a small dip to heading back up. And typically, Teller County peaks out well into the summer when it warms up a little bit and it's just absolutely beautiful up there. So if you are selling now, the way to make it happen quicker is to price your home what I call very realistically versus optimistically. If you price your home too high, the market's going to talk to you right away. It's going to tell you, hey, look, there aren't very many showings going on. There's no what I call threats of offers, which is a very nice threat to have. And if your house sits on the market, when you're seeing more than 10 showings or 10 days with no showings, we're way off on price. You have to really take a look at what the competition is so you can make a good decision about where to position the home to get top dollar. It could be marketing, it could be pricing, and you need an expert to show you that. The biggest mistakes that I see with buyers right now is they tend to kind of sit on the sidelines and go, well, at some point we're going to see those 3% interest rates go on. And actually, I'd be real shocked if that happened based on what I know. It seemed like the rates that went down into the 3% range and even in the twos between 2020 and 2022, a lot of that had to do with government intervention. And I think it's very unlikely that it'll happen again because it cost the government a lot of money to buy down the bond, so the interest rates came down lower. So if you're a buyer, don't wait for rates to fall. What I would recommend is save a little bit of extra money so you can buy the interest rate down when you pick the perfect house. Just plan on that. Work with a mortgage broker to find out, where you would be if the price point were X and if you brought down the interest rate 1 or 2 points. A lot of the builders are doing this right now. They're putting their homes on the market and they're saying, hey, come on over, buyer. We'll give you as much as $45,000 in incentives, and you could buy the rate down. You could lower the price. You could buy some upgrades, whatever you want. So they're very successful right now in this market. So it's very important for an existing home seller to price their home what I call realistically. And as a buyer, don't wait for the right house to hit the market. If you see something you like and you can afford it, I wouldn't wait around. I don't think prices are going to go down, at least not in Colorado. We're seeing some other states that are having some challenges with their values. And real estate is very local. And that's the thing you have to understand. This local Front Range area is doing quite well. So if you see the rates start to head back up, you'll also see the inventory go back up as well. And that's because as the rates go up, the payments go higher. And every time the rate goes up just 1%, it wipes out about 10% of the buyer population just because of affordability. If we see the rates drop back down, that's a really good time to jump in there and play because, you can always refinance if you are into a loan right now or you're getting into a loan right now and get into the lower rates really at a relatively low cost. So that's really, really important. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. And what we're talking about is how to sell your home for the most money. And when we come back, we're going to hit on the top 5 key things to thrive in any market to get your home sold at a realistic price at a relatively quick price range. I mean, our days on market went from the boom back between 2021 and 2022, where homes were flying off the shelf, sometimes within hours, to what we have right now, which pretty much all along the Front Range, it's taking several months to get a good contract if you're at the high end of the price point. If you're at the low end of the price point, it could go quicker. And we can teach you exactly how to do that. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call, 719-301-3900, or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We have over 700 buyers in waiting. That would probably be a high match for just about any home. Give us a call and we can go over that as well as all of our cash offers, or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
We're talking with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and you can reach Barb at 719-301-3900. Now, Barb, you've highlighted three of the five keys to maximize sales price when you are selling a home. So tell us more about those five keys.
Well, in general, to get the most money, you have to be priced what I call very realistically. If you happen to have a VA loan, if you're one of those that has served our country and you're sitting on a VA loan with a low interest rate and you can't take that loan with you, you might want to talk to somebody about allowing someone to assume your low V interest. You might want to talk to somebody about allowing another buyer to assume your VA loan. I know that sounds very scary, but you're not on the hook for it credit-wise. It only affects a little bit of your eligibility. I've had people that let someone assume their VA loan and they went off to buy another house right away at a high price point without any problem. We can also solve people's problems of having a house to sell. That's probably the biggest dilemma we see out there. Almost 80% of buyers out there need to sell a house to buy their next home. So the problem is if their home isn't sold, the seller is a little bit reluctant to take that offer, or they expect a full price offer to make it happen. We have a solution for you. We can put just about any address in the country up on our cash offer platform and get your buyer a cash offer. That way they can buy your home without having to sell their existing home, making your home more valuable. Those are just two items that would help. But it's critical that you're the best home on the block. So that has to do with pricing, condition. Now, not everybody wants to fix up their home, and that's okay. There's a different price for fix up versus not fix up. The other thing that's critical is making sure your home is presented to the market and the photos are top notch. Buyers will eliminate homes based on the online presentation in seconds. So you only have a few seconds to attract a buyer to make them look further into your home. You have to make sure you get that right. Bad photos repel buyers and make them not even consider your home. I have seen one time there was a buyer that was looking at a listing and the outside and the inside photos were awful. Finally, one of my team agents said, you need to look at this house. And he had already gotten outbid on another same property. So we went and looked at a different one, this one that had bad pictures, and it was beautiful. It was just poorly presented. So buyers will absolutely walk away from something like that. And then we talked about dealing with the solution of people with having a house to sell. The other thing that's critical is the photos. We don't have to put every photo on there, but the photos have to be top notch and they have to be in the order that you're not repelling buyers. And most agents really don't know a whole lot about negotiating. They're learning more now that they have to negotiate their own fee. But it's a relationship that you put together and every deal is different. You have to hire somebody that knows how to negotiate. Some agents think it's their job to get stuff for their buyers, but in my view, it's their job to get the buyer the house, right? And work together to get it done. Some do it well and some don't. And sometimes it's not always about the price. So you want to talk to the right agent that knows how to handle the sale. If you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to visit barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker on Your Real Estate Voice. Barb is the owner, broker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and you can reach her at 719-301-3900. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be discussing the top reasons why a Colorado home is not selling and what you can do to fix that. Stay tuned for that.